Welcome again. It is your man, Brother Minister, here at the Ghetto Prepper, where I just get you black folks starting to think about how you're going to survive beyond depending on the government to come and rescue you. Now, I'm not saying all of us do that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that we do have an expectation of the government coming to bail us out when things go bad. And I know I grew up with that expectation. My thing was, when I was growing up, I was just in a poor situation. And I'm like, man, I can't wait till I get over and get my check, my government check, or I get my own place. And I went to the Marine Corps and they broke me of that and taught me the value of self-sufficiency. So what I'm saying here today is, black folks, I want to talk to you about what you are going to do when your paycheck stops in a nuclear apocalyptic or electric grid down or tsunami or whatever that situation is. Because as I say in these videos, black folks, white folks done gone crazy. There are essentially two men on this planet that could kill most of us. And that is Joe Biden and that is Vladimir Putin. And I'm not making any political commentary. I'm coming right down the middle of the road. Because black folks, whether you know it or not, Republicans don't care for you, but you know that. Democrats don't care for you, but you don't know that. And I talked in an earlier video about my confrontation with a well-known local Democratic poll worker who was trying to get me to vote for some Democrats, right? We'll talk about that another time. But what are you going to do, black folks, when the grid goes down? There's no electricity. You can't get money from the bank. Your ATM card is not going to work. Your mobile phone is not working. Your Cash App is not working. You can't even get in a car because you got a brand new car and an EMP pulse, electric magnetic pulse, which kills electricity over a certain area. And it's killed the chips in your car. So your car's not working. Your phone's not working. Your lights are not working. You can't get money. What are you going to do? You're going to call a local city hall office. You're going to call somebody and say, I need some help. Help ain't coming. And as a matter of fact, if you listen to my early videos, not only is help not coming, vultures, wolves, and hyenas are coming to get you. And that's us, black folks, victimizing black folks. So that's the question. What are you going to do when you don't have money and you can't just go out and buy mess? So many of you, especially you young adults, most of you have not known the kind of poverty those of us born even as late as the 1960s and 1970s experienced. Now, we were the last generation to experience, I believe that, not that there is extreme poverty, but most of y'all are watching this on an electronic device that may cost between a couple $100s and $1,000, which tells me you're not experiencing poverty. But here's the thing. Once the grid goes down and the way the US dollar is headed, you've noticed inflation, right? Inflation. So you got raises. No matter where you work now, cashiers a full-time cashier at McDonald's can make as much as $35,000 a year. Whoppers cost $10 or Big Macs cost $10. But what you've noticed is when wages went up, inflation was up as well. So they canceled out any earnings, anything that was going to assist you with getting ahead, black folks. And they dangled up white folks dangled that carrot in front of you and they took it right back. And they did that on purpose. You say, oh, the government helped me. What? You lost your job during COVID, during lockdowns, and even $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 a year. They gave you back $5,000. And how are they helping you? They're the one took it away with some unnecessary mess. So I'm asking you the question, what are you going to do when your paycheck stops? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. We talked about food stores and water stores and single mothers getting food for your kids. And I already told you this is that white folks are not going to help you. You're not going to be able to go and knock on white folks' door out in the white neighborhoods and have them help you. They view us with suspicion now. When the grid goes down, what do you think is going to happen then? Well, you look to Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina. When black people, white folks in the suburbs had them shotguns on black people, turned them back from coming into their parish. Turn black people back, and then those cops that killed those unarmed black people on the road that were trying to get away, you're going to be victimized. So when your paycheck stops, what I want you to do right now is start to understand a barter system. And one thing, if you got somebody, here's the good news. Here's the good news, right? Prison ain't never a good thing, but I got family members, one of my brothers right now in a joint. One of my brothers just got out doing, they let him off in a hardship from doing life in the Fed. I got relative nephews, cousins in the Fed, in the joint, in prison. So I'm saying to bring up is that when we talk about a post-apocalyptic, whether it's nuclear war, whether it's grid down, electrical grids being smashed, that'll take years to repair, money is going to be replaced with probably a barter system. That means instead of giving somebody $1, one of those worthless, what will be worthless US dollars, you'll have to give them a cup of noodles, or you'll have to give them silver, or you'll have to give them maybe some coins, maybe coins, nickels. You should look into buying junk silver, because that's going to be huge. I'm saying that because black folks, remember I said that our needs are different than what these white prepper channels are. One way to turn lemon into lemonade, especially with those of you who have family members like me who've been in prison. One thing that my relatives constantly tell me, that prison is about bartering. For instance, one of them told me like stamps, letter stamps are big in prison. And if you can go to the commissary and buy food, man, that's food and stamps and those type of things are what they trade in prison. They trade money too, drugs, of course, they told me. But your relative who was in prison, if they're reformed and they're doing well and they're not into their gangsterism or whatever it is that got them in prison in the first place, they can be a hidden asset for you creating your own family barter system. Woo! So what I mean by that is prisoners understand barter. They understand that, for instance, let's just say you got your food stores. Let's just say you got some things put away, but you don't have a paycheck, you don't have money, you don't know how you're going to get things. Well, a prisoner understands this, that you have an old laptop, they'll take it apart and they'll be like, oh, there's copper there, or whatever that is. And they'll be like, well, you got a can of, dang, you know what? You got a can of green beans. Maybe we can switch that for some corn or for some flour or whatever that thing is. So what I'm saying is, if you have prisoners in your family, you need to talk about learning bartering from them right now. Or I'm not going to say bring them into your house. That's not what I'm saying, because I said something different, is that you're going to have to learn to survive. But if I was you, I would learn the value of bartering right now, because when your paycheck stops, and I know I'm going to talk to you about buying silver, not gold. Gold is too expensive for most of us. Me and my family, we stocked up on, some silver, but I'm gonna talk to you about that. But I know y'all ain't gonna do that, because y'all don't listen. Y'all hard-headed. Y'all black folks, y'all ain't gonna listen. Y'all ain't gonna, what am I gonna pay $40 for one coin for? I'm gonna explain it to you in a few videos from now, but I know y'all ain't gonna listen. Nevertheless, that relative that you have, why don't you get with them right now and say, hey, show me how to trade things for stuff? Because in that post-apocalyptic economy, prisoners that have been in prison and know the value of commissary and know the value of looking at what you have and trading it for something else, they are going to be, and their skill set is going to be invaluable in that economy. As a matter of fact, when that happens, and I got relatives that ain't gonna be leeches, man, I'm gonna give them some food in order to go out and conduct business for me and my family, because they understand it. So when your paycheck stops, you are going to have to barter. You're going to have to, perhaps you're going to trade. I would never trade water personally, but some people might say, dang, man, I need something to read. Give me that book and I'll give you some socks, whatever that is. You need to get ready to barter, and prisoners can be invaluable doing that. See you in the next video.